Welcome everyone back to our coverage of the 4th Ashes Test match here at Emirates Old Trafford. England at the end of day 1 were none for 34, trailing Australia by a further 258 after Australia won the toss, elected to bat and got knocked over for 292 late in the opening day's play. So there's certainly been a lot of work done from the Australian point of view to get some runs on the board. They took the positive approach of batting first. And we thought there was going to be a lot in this pitch for the batsmen, obviously. And there wasn't too much in it for the seamers. The seamers bowled for very little reward on day 1. Only the 5 wickets between them, with the spinner Jack Leach taking the remaining 5 wickets. So Australia have their 3-pronged attack of quickies today, with Mitchell Marsh providing some slight assistance of Stark, Hazelwood and Cummins. And it'll be interesting to see how those pace bowlers go, considering how well England are playing. That's the 50 up for England, 50 partnership between these two as well. They've put on some good partnerships a couple of times. I don't think they've ever had one going over 100. That's a big outside edge over the top. But these two, they've been in okay form as well throughout this series. Rory Burns and Jason Roy playing some more attacking shots now, as we just have a look at some of their stats for how they've gone through this series. Jason Roy continues to attack that ball, and we spoke yesterday about the pitch rewarding positive strokes. That's an outside edge from Roy. He's going to go. Australia get the breakthrough. It was Pat Cummins to do it, leading wicket taker in the series. Thickish outside edge. They've been playing at a lot of balls today. Jason Roy getting out for 30. Just 1 run shy of 200 runs for the series so far. England 1 for 64. And it brings Joe Root to the crease. So just the 1/2 century for Joe Root in this series. You can have a look there. See his failure to convert 50s into 100s. Hasn't been too good throughout this series either. Survives his first ball, and Rory Burns going to continue to go about things the way they've been going this morning. So again, the conditions are quite hot. It is going to be quite difficult for bowlers, or at least the whole team in the field. I think it's close to 30 degrees again today. Reasonably good batting conditions. And we've seen a lot of aggression from England so far early. Their run rate already above 4 and over. Within 18 overs, they're pretty close to 80. Breaking the 4th wall for a moment here. In the real world, last night, Australia was batting at a pretty good run rate too. I think they were going at about 4 and over at one point as well. So very interesting. And also apologies if the lineups aren't quite correct. I know Roy's not opening the batting and Khawaja's not playing and Wade is playing. But they don't announce these things sort of till the toss or the day before, and given how long these videos take me to record, I just have to guess, kind of. They take about 4 hours per day to record sometimes, so it is a bit of time. After drinks, Nathan Lyon going to come into the attack. He's going to bowl to Rory Burns. See what spin does today. There's a wicket straight away. With his first ball, Nathan Lyon gets the breakthrough. Australia are after a big swing and a miss from Rory Burns. Misjudged the length of the ball. Might have beaten him in flight. Just bounced over the top of the bat. He's gone for 42, and straight away we saw spin take 5 wickets yesterday. Nathan Lyon's got 1 with spin today. England trailing by just under 200 now, as Joe Denley gets himself off the mark. He's got a couple of runs now, so these two are going to be a big partnership for England, and obviously Nathan Lyon going to be critical for Australia. Both he and Pat Cummins, with their 2 wickets this morning, keep themselves on top of the leading wicket takers with 16 wickets each for the series. This time Denley gets the sweep away. That'll be 4. As the 100 was brought up for England not too long ago. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be a very interesting contest between bat and ball, this one. We've seen if the batsmen play well and they play positively, there's a shout. Looks like it was maybe going down the leg side. If the batsmen play well and play positively, there are runs to be had on this pitch. But we have seen also the spinning side of things, and even some of the pace bowlers, when they do get it right, drawing false shots out of batsmen, there are wickets to be had. So I think it is going to be probably one of the better pitches we've seen in this series. We have seen the last couple of games, wickets fall maybe a little too easily for our liking. England, getting rolled for 118 on a couple of occasions, so they'll be pretty happy to get there this time around, just the 2 down. Oh, jeez, Lyon, he's looking dangerous early. One sort of getting in between the bat and the pad. There is a silly point in there to try and get that catch, but it looks like there's an outside edge. Tim Paine's taken the catch. Nathan Lyon has 2 this morning already. And it's Joe Denley who's going to have to go. The edge was very faint. He consults with Joe Root, but he's on his way. Wicket tumbles. Good catch from Tim Paine. Joe Denley gone for 19. England 3 for 120. And Ben Stokes to the crease. Only the 114 runs in this series. Ben Stokes averaging 19 runs per innings. And is yet to have sort of any meaningful impact. No half centuries or centuries in this series. There's an outside edge. Very convincing, but it'll go to the boundary. Stokes pretty lucky there. And England, they're going to need something from him today. We've seen their middle order fail to make a whole heap of runs throughout this series. If their top order doesn't get it done, it makes it a bit of a struggle for their middle order. So Joe Root, he's played okay in the series. Got the 1 half century in the last match. Need to do well again today. That's another wicket for Nathan Lyon. Ben Stokes just playing at that one and grabbing the outside edge. Some really quick movement from Tim Paine. Anticipated that ball going off the outside edge. Just moved quickly to his left. Ben Stokes gone for 8. Nathan Lyon has 3 wickets already this morning. After Jack Leach took 5 yesterday. Johnny Bairstow coming to the crease. England now 4 down for 128. So they've lost 2 or 3 quite quickly since Lions come into the attack. And they still trail by a further 164. Joe Root's seen some guys fall around him. 4 for 131 at the moment. That's a short one, pulled away by Bairstow. I think he's just going to have to play his natural game, play some shots, get himself some runs. Nathan Lyon, of course, looking the most dangerous of the Australian bowlers today. Bowled very well, already taken the 3 wickets. And he's been pretty economical as well, keeping his variety up there. 3 for 18. Already he's got from 7.4 overs. So it has been a really quality spell after drinks in this opening session. So that is the opening session done. 37 overs gone. England 4 for 140. Nathan Lyon, the standout bowler this morning. 3 for 18. We saw Stark and Hazelwood also come in and bowl sort of the first spell this morning. They didn't take a wicket between them. Mitchell Marsh bowled some relieving overs there as well. Didn't really do too much. So we're back after lunch on day 1. And Joe Root has come out swinging. Gets a boundary early. Now Mitchell Stark also into the attack. So Nathan Lyon has been taken out of the attack just to give him a little bit of a rest after lunch before they'll bring him back in. See if Stark or Hazelwood or even Cummins or even Marsh can create a breakthrough. Thought they would go with the 4th seamer for this match, Australia, rather than relying too heavily on their part-timers. Here's Nathan Lyon back on the bowl. And straight away, his first ball of the spell, he gets another wicket. Joe Root this time, just stepping across his stumps. Wasn't expecting it to turn all that much, and Nathan Lyon, I think, has surprised everyone with how much that's turned. It's cannoned into leg stump. Joe Root has to go for 58. So he did make the half century again today, but he is going to have to go for 58. Brings Josh Butler, the leading run scorer, to the crease. But the one thing we will say about Josh Butler is since that opening test match, he's only made the 1 half century. Made 257 runs of his 369 in the opening test match. And he's gone for a duck here. Pat Cummins gets the breakthrough, or another wicket really. The first one for the Seamers for quite some time. We've just spoken about Josh Butler. In the last 5 innings, he's only averaged about 20 runs. 10, 43, 7, 52, and now naught. His last 5 scores. Only sort of the 2 out of the 5 there managing to go above 10 runs. So he's sort of dropped off his form since that opening test match. Wokes to the crease, and all of a sudden, England's middle order are all but dismissed. England are now 6 for 175. And Pat Cummins obviously getting a second wicket for the Seamers. Doing a very nice job. England still trail by a further 112. 112 runs, of course. So Australia would like to take a bit of a lead into this, the end of this opening innings. Nathan Lyon to continue. There's another wicket for Nathan Lyon. Just straight through middle stump here of Chris Wokes. Again, just beaten in flight this time. Threw the shot quite early. And his middle stump is gone. So Nathan Lyon, I think he's got 5 today already. Chris Wokes gone. England 7 for 185. Their wickets are tumbling. They are tumbling, of course. And we've seen them lose, wickets in quick succession in previous test matches. It has been a bit of a collapse of epic proportions. I think they were about 2 for 120 at one point in this match. And they're now 7 for 185, so that's 5 for 60 odd. Sees them only still trailing by 105 runs. Oh, gee, that is almost going back onto the stumps. But it does make for quite an interesting encounter. Yeah, it might be a sign of intent from Johnny Bairstow. Realises that Nathan Lyon's bowling well. If he can just hit him out of the attack, he might be less likely to succumb to him as a wicket. Mitchell Stark doing what Mitchell Stark does best to the tail, bowling round the wicket and angling it in. This one in the air. Could be taken as a catch. They're going up for it. Not quite sure there's anything there. Umpire says not out. Australians are sort of consulting with each other here, and they are going to go upstairs with this review, so doesn't look like anything else. It looks like it's the front pad hitting the back pad onto the catch, and no chance really of an LBW. So we've seen both sides review poorly. England wasting their first couple of reviews within about 30 overs in the opening innings. That's swinging in, but an outside edge from Bairstow brings up 200 for England. And keeps that ball out of his middle stump. Nathan Lyon to Jofra Archer, continuing. And he's got 6. Lyon has wicket number 6. An outside edge from Jofra. Gets him out. Just a little bit too defensive. We've seen the variation in the amount of spin today. We've seen some turn more than the batsmen were expecting. That one sort of went straight on. And Archer ends up going for 3. England 8 for 200. So Australia have really turned this game around since really Drinks in the opening session. England dominated the first sort of half hour of play before Australia have really come out firing after that. And they've taken 8 wickets in the 50-odd overs of play we've had today. England still trailing by a further 85 runs. So Broad and Bairstow are going to just try and chip away at this lead and see what they can get off it. That's an interesting shot from Bairstow. He'll just pick up the one. Sort of scooping it in the air. Oh, that might have hit the toe, I think. And this is out. The Aussies like it. And it's out. So Stuart Broad will have to go. Nathan Lyon has taken wicket number 7. We'll have a look at this again, just so we're all clear about how it happened. There was an inside edge from Broad down onto his toe, and it's bobbled up. And Marnus Labuschagne has taken the catch. Stuart Broad gone for 10. England 9 for 214. Jack Leach to the crease. Johnny Bairstow still there as well. But England still 78 runs behind. Nathan Lyon 7 for 41. He's now taken, I think 22 wickets in the series so far, making him easily the leading wicket taker. And he's had a big part to play in how this series has shaped out. There's an inside edge from Bairstow. They'll go to the boundary. So he's on 46. He's actually played quite well. He's just seen everyone really tumble around him. And he's played this one quite nicely towards the third man boundary. It's going to be 4. It's going to bring up his half century. So just Joe Root and Bairstow hitting half centuries for England. Just the 5 boundaries in there as well. He's played a little bit more aggressively in the last little period. There's a appeal from the Australians. It looked maybe going over the top and down leg, but Australia going to go upstairs anyway. Let's see how this is going. Pitching in line. Impact umpire's call, and it's going down the leg side. So no wicket there for Mitchell Starc. Yet has not taken a wicket today. We've seen Lyon take 7, Cummins taken 2, and now Starc has 1. So gets rid of Leach. The typical way he gets rid of tailenders. Falling on the stumps. You miss, I hit. Mitchell Starc gets the wicket. Australia knock England over in the opening sort of session and a half. First 2 sessions of day 2 brings David Warner and Usman Khawaja to the crease. Stuart Broad coming in to bowl. He's done quite well in this series, Stuart Broad. Took a couple of wickets as well in the first innings. And he pretty much starts the exact same way we started that opening innings. With David Warner just hitting it off his pads down to the leg side. That's a leading edge from Khawaja. Doesn't quite carry. We saw England's bowlers, they struggled bowling towards the left-handers. They were much more dangerous going around the wicket. We thought when they bowled over the wicket in that opening innings, they were just a little bit too straight to the Australian left-handers. Gave them a lot of room to work the ball onto the leg side, much like Khawaja just did there. Couple overs gone, Australia none for 8. And now we've seen Stuart Broad come around the wicket. This is where he's looked more dangerous. You can see him really getting that ball swinging in. This time Warner aware of the in-swing. Gets it through mid-wicket for a couple. But he has been England's most effective bowler, Stuart Broad. There's a wicket though for Chris Wokes. He pitched it up there outside the off stump. Said to Khawaja, if you want it, have a go. Good take from Bairstow as well. Not sure it would have carried to second slip. It was Ben Stokes in second slip, but Bairstow with a good take. Khawaja gone for 5. Australia 2 for 11 in their second innings here on day 2. And that's what we've seen through the last couple of test matches. They've only gone for 3 days. We haven't seen sides bat for long periods of time. I think we've only seen maybe 1. Oh, gee, that's an outside edge. It doesn't quite carry. Maybe third slip for Marnus Labuschagne. But we've seen, I guess, teams, they haven't batted for long periods of time. Might have been Australia only once batted more than 90 overs. I think England the same. So it's going to need to be some strong batting from both these sides to stretch this one out. A little bit of time. Warner looking in some fine form early. He's played pretty good through the series. Oh, Labuschagne just all over the shop here to Jofra Archer, who's coming to the attack. Did the same thing in the first innings. He and Stokes came in and they took wickets. There's the first change. He's got one here. So, bowled Labuschagne. Just nipping it away, hitting the top of off. Strange sort of a shot. Trying to cut a ball that wasn't really there to cut. And Marnus is gone for 2. Australia 2 for 23. Probably a reasonably familiar position they find themselves in. Steve Smith coming to the crease. And oh, that's gone straight through him off his first ball. And they go for a tight single. No, again the call. I think a direct hit would have had him out too. It was a very close encounter with the stumps, and not sure how well he would have got back there. They do run the single this time, and he does get off the mark, but pretty shaky quite early. Someone who hasn't been too shaky, David Warner. That's 4 runs. Australia 2 for 30 now. He's looked the goods today. Had a pretty good series, David Warner. Getting his way up there in terms of Australia's leading... I was going to say leading run scorers. He's only had the 1/2 century, so I'm talking a bit of crap here, to be fair. Although, did he make a half century in the first innings? I cannot remember that far back. That is how poor my research has been, as he smashes this one away to mid-wicket for 4. So we'll see how positive and how much Warner looks for boundaries today, as it really has been the way that we've seen the scores be hit. Saw this morning Jason Roy, I think it was, played quite aggressive, and he looked quite damaging and quite dangerous when he was playing quality shots. So if David Warner goes about it like that, and even Johnny Bairstow, he played quite aggressive for his not out. That's a top edge from Steve Smith, cutting a ball that again wasn't really there to cut, and he gets away with it. So he looks a bit smug at the top of the crease there. That's a much better shot. That's what we've been speaking about, the positivity of some of these shots. 50 up for Australia as well. Arguably one of the shots of the day, just driving it straight down the ground for 4. Look at this, just poise and balance from Smith. Puts him in that strong position.
Yep.
And there's a 4 from Warner again. Much more comfortable with that reverse sweep. And that's what they've done well to Jack Leach. They did it in the first innings. We'll see if they do it again in the second. That's quite close. There was a bottom edge from Warner, is what we heard through our effects mic there. So not much longer here in this opening day's play for Australia to be batting on. England would love to take another wicket or 2. There's about 8 to 10 overs remaining. I think there was a maximum 30 overs left in the day's play. And Steve Smith and David Warner bring up a 50-run partnership, predominantly off the bat of David Warner. Australia 2 for 74 after 20. Steve Smith, he's going with the reverse sweep this time. That's a boundary. So, while they did play Leach quite well in that first innings, obviously he still took 5 wickets. So he was still England's most dangerous bowler, and Australia will be much aware of that.
Yep.
And aware of how they go about things. This will be 50 for David Warner here. Punching it through mid-wicket. Is it going to get to the rope? Not quite. Some good fielding there. They'll come back for 3. But that's his second 50 for the series, David Warner. Made 70 odd at Lords. Hasn't really done too much since then. Steve Smith, outside edge. Wicket taken. Jofra Archer gets it. So that's a big breakthrough for England late in the day. They would have been hoping to get one of these 2. They broke the pair. The partnership wasn't worth too much more than 50. And Australia's best batsman, Steve Smith, who was averaging about 60 odd in the series, we've got him cheaply. Brings Travis Head to the crease. So, even getting another one of these 2 would be big for England. Travis Head, Australia's leading run scorer this series. So far, he's averaged 50, to be honest. The 100 and the 1/2 century so far, and now England got a bowl to 2 left-handers again. So they get themselves in that predicament of they probably need to go around the wicket to be more dangerous to these guys, and don't want to be bowling 2 straight, because David Warner, if he sees it straight, it's got his iron at the moment, he can just hit it straight through mid-wicket for 4. It's too far down the leg side. It's the 1 for Australia there. Lead of 150 brought up. And now Travis Head getting in on the act. So he's hit that one through mid-wicket. His form's been pretty good in this series. 100 up for Australia now as he punches that one on the leg side. And this is what we've been saying about England's bowling. It's been 2 straight to the left-handers. Just allowed Australia easy runs on the leg side. Going up here, but no real chance of anything. This might be the last over of the day's play. Which offer Archer, I'm not too sure. They might be able to squeeze one more in after this. Oh, that's a good shot from Travis Head. That's 4. So, what have we got? If we got time for one more over here, Australia will get the single. What do the umpires say? They'll converge. And they will bowl one more over. So this will be the last over of the day's play. It's going to be Jack Leach bowling to Travis Head. And he does exactly what you want to be doing at the end of the day's play. Is I was going to say, get yourself off strike, but they'll take 2. Head will keep strike. Just 2 balls left in the day's play. Now Warner on strike here. Just a defensive shot there. So, just wanting to survive this last ball. Australia lead by 178. Leach to Warner. And sort of a play and a miss, but it's a dot ball and it's not a wicket, is what Australia would be looking at. Australia lead by 178 runs at the end of day 2. Very, I would say, evenly poised test match. Australia, obviously, with the lead at the moment, going to try and bat England out of the game on day 3. It's really all set up for a big day 3. If Australia can pile on the runs, they're in the best position. If England can keep Australia to quite a low score, they might be in the best position. It's going to be interesting. I really want to see how it plays out. Day 3 coming up tomorrow, everyone. I hope you enjoy. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.